Hey guys, so one of the things that I was never told going into buying a car uh, that I would really like y'all to know is the difference between buying a used car versus buying a new car. I know, like, as a teenager, everybody's like, oh, buying a new car, and it's like the coolest thing, people are rolling up with them. But, you know, that's your personal preference if you want to or not. There's a trade-off. There always is when you make a choice. There's always a pro and a con. So there's positives and negatives. So when you buy a car, typically you're going to spend more money because it's new. The pro to that is that it's new. Nobody else has owned it. It is yours. It is brand new off the lot. Awesome. And if you want to do that, and that is your motivation, and that is your reason for it, and you've got the money and you want to do it, go right ahead. I'm not going to tell you not to. But if you're looking at saving money and getting the best bang for your buck, typically a used car is your best bet, especially if you do your research. For example, the truck that I have now, if y'all see me driving around school, it's a used truck. It had one owner before me, and there are actually a lot of people who do this. People who buy vehicles, keep it for a year or two, and then they trade it in to get a newer model. Now, if you don't know anything about cars, cars pretty much always depreciate in value. They pretty much never appreciate unless you are super famous and now you owned it and somehow gave the car value. But typically, any car that you see when somebody buys it, it loses value. Mainly because, especially if it's new to used, it now no longer is new if somebody has bought it. It's used. So over your lifetime, you're going to have probably 10 vehicles that you're going to end up buying. That's the national average anyways. I believe it's actually 13, but probably 10, somewhere in that range, 10 to 13. So if you buy all used cars for those vehicles, then you'll end up saving about $130,000. If you buy new ones, you're going to spend about an extra $130,000. And if you really think about that, that's a house. That's a whole house. That's a lot of money. So again, if you are willing to spend that extra money because you want the new car, go right ahead. Nobody's going to tell you not to. It is your choice. It's your money. But if you're looking at saving money, it's really a better option a lot of times to shop around and find a used car that is in good condition and that checks out. But it would save you a lot of money. I saved, I think it was like $15,000 on my truck by not buying it new, because there were new ones in the lot that I could have bought, but those were way more expensive. And the only difference was that one that I bought had 18,000 more miles, because it only had 18,000 miles on it when I bought it, and it had one previous owner that had owned it for a year and traded it in for a newer truck. And I shopped around for about a year. I mean, it wasn't like a quick process. We shopped around, and we found what we wanted, and that's what we got. So I'm going to attach a link. It kind of covers a lot of the different pros and cons and says a lot of the same stuff. But check it out, do your research, and good luck getting your first vehicle.